Okay, well, we might get started. So, welcome everybody. My name is Bill Cope. I am involved with this conference. Well, I'm not actually there at the moment. I don't know whether any of you are there at the in-person conference in Galway. Are you folks all online? Yeah, okay. So I'm not there, but there are folks there online. So.
I'm here.
Oh, you're there in Galway. Great. Oh, well,
Yeah.
thanks for coming, Maura. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm also here in Galway.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, well, welcome. Okay, I just saw there's a couple more people coming in. So, welcome. We're kind of just a little bit of background after this COVID hiatus, where we're coming back together again. But one of the legacies of COVID is we've been building this hybrid environment where it's possible for people both to be at the conference in person and online. So welcome everybody, good to see you all. Yeah, my name is Bill Cope. As I say, I've been involved in this conference since it began some years ago. And just to give you a little bit of a sense of the conference, we have about, I'm just looking at the stats here, we have about 80 people in person, 50 people online. There's about 130 people involved in the conference, 25 in Spanish, so that makes it 150 or so, I think. So we have a Spanish language strand as well, and we have 100 pieces of digital media that have been uploaded. So one of the things we've tried to do with the blended model is encourage the in-person presenters to put digital media up as well, but also the in-person people to go and spend time in the digital media, so we can have this kind of hybrid experience. And one of the advantages is that we have a permanent record of what was at the conference. And if there were two sessions on at the same time and you desperately wanted to go to both, all is not lost if there's digital media there. So we're really encouraging people to do that. Another one of the advantages as well is the discussion area. So what we really want to encourage people to do is to participate in the online discussions. In the hard reality of in-person sessions is there's only really time for a limited conversation at the end, whereas there's unlimited scope for discussion. So even if you're in an in-person session, you're an in-person presenter, go to the online sessions and comment there. So there's a kind of a record of things. Now, also, what I want to do, I'm just looking at my notes here. We have, do we have anyone from the local host there? The names I have are Tom. No, it doesn't seem to be. And also Mario was going to be there, but no. So it looks like it's just just us here. So yeah, they're the main kind of intro things I wanted to do. But in the nature of a kind of an opening, this is like a virtual opening reception, or let's call it that. I'd like you all to introduce yourselves and say a little bit about what you do. And if you're presenting, Kayla will get the link to your session and put it in the chat. So what I'd like people to do, if you could, is just say, who you are and where you're from and what brings you here, whether here is Galway and Ireland or here is this particular set of Zoom tiles from some other part of the world. So I'm going to go around, I'm going to follow my Zoom tiles around the screen, and the first person I have is Sarah Halford. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. By the way, I'm in Champaign, Illinois. I work for the University of Illinois. You might be able to guess from my accent that I'm not an American. I'm just Australian originally, but I work at the University of Illinois now. So that's me. So anyhow, over to you, Sarah.
Great. I grew up in Illinois, so.
Oh, okay.
Great. Yeah. So yes, I'm Sarah Halford. I'm a doctoral candidate of sociology at Brandeis University, which is just outside of Boston. What do I study, or what do I do?
Are you presenting? What brings you to the conference? What are you working on in your doctoral program?
Yeah, sure. So I'm obviously at the dissertation stage right now. I study conspiracy movements and processes of distrust, sort of breakdowns of trust. Right now, I'm studying the anti-5G movement and kind of the safe technology movement in general. So that really aligns, I think, in a lot of ways with disinformation and misinformation as well. So I'm here just to kind of learn and watch and yeah, meet some people.
Okay.
So.
And do you have a presentation, or you're?
I don't.
Well, look, for goodness sake, that there couldn't be anything in the media space more important than that at the moment. I mean, it's sort of. I got to say, I have less confidence in the truth of what I read than ever before, to be quite frank. So yeah, you're right. These are incredibly important points, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any stretch of the imagination. So I think we're all worried about the exactly those issues. So all strength to you for taking those issues on. So and wonderful, and I hope it's a really great conference for you. One thing I'm going to say this several times. I'm going to say it now. Never leave one of the online versions of a session without leaving a comment, right? This is one of the great advantages of this space. There's as much space as you like to say as much as you want. And people really enjoy the feedback, and the way we've set up our platform is that even if the person hasn't logged in or isn't logged in at the time, they get an email trigger to say that there's a comment there for them to look at. So yeah, please do that. Okay, the next person I have going across my tiles is Paolo. How are you, Paolo?
Hello, Willem. Good afternoon to all. I'm Paulo Bruno Alves, from Polytechnic of Viseu, Portugal. I'm not in Galway, unfortunately. I salute the organization and all the presence here. About me, I have a PhD in history of communication. I teach in the social communication disciplines such as journalism, cyber journalism, and cyber culture. My communication it's in the team 2022 special focus, and it is called Disinformation in Democracy Process as a Political Strategy. A look to the presidential elections in the United States of America, 2016, and in Mozambique, 2019, and the inventory of the manipulation of organized media. Why I'm here? You asked a few minutes. Because I believe this is the International Conference on Communication Media Studies. It's a place that I can reach more things about my studies and followed by many people that I'm gathering, and I'm looking forward to all this beautiful program that we have. Thank you.
Well, there you go. We've already got a session you must go to, Sarah. So this is again this profoundly important issue, and I think people often think that the political processes in developing countries are somewhat more less resilient than they are in long-term liberal democracies, but I think we've come to the conclusion they're not
of course.
Years. So this is a really important thing to be looking at. So thank you for that. And I noticed, you've had 97 engagements already. The conference hasn't even begun. You've had that many people who've gone to the page. One of the things we've experienced, by the way, which is a bit disappointing, we're working on this, is a lot of people go to the page and look at the stuff, but they don't leave comments. So for goodness sake, join the discussion, for goodness sake.
Yeah, I hope so. I will do. Thank you.
If anybody has any ideas about how to encourage people not to do that, I mean, our habit in social media actually is more to view things than to engage. So if you look at if you're in social media and you look at the view stats compared to the engagement stats, the engagement stats are much lower. So we've got into this habit of not doing it. So we're trying to think of ways to encourage people really to be sure to comment. But anyhow, 97 people have been there already, which is pretty good in a conference where there's 150 or so that's good. Okay, Moira, you're my next person, and you are in Galway.
Yes. I'm from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I was head of the department of the University of Saskatchewan in Saskatchewan. And so I'm talking about a production that we did there of Unity 1918. And I'm actually an old-fashioned humanist. But because of COVID, we had to make a lot of changes to teach, to do productions, to reach an audience. And so there seemed to be a good match, how we did it. Because there's nothing more physical than theater, and suddenly the thing that makes you theater doesn't exist anymore. And the thing, it's kind of funny because we're the oldest drama department in the British Commonwealth. We were founded in 1945, and we wanted to have a 75th anniversary celebration for that. And so we chose this wonderful play, Unity 1918, in February 2020, and it's about the pandemic in Saskatchewan in 1918.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and a month later, boom, the world exploded.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds very all too relevant on too many fronts, actually. So yeah, and thanks for that link there, and folks. And look, what's old-fashioned about humanism? Let's not let it become old-fashioned. So yeah. No, it's great. That's nice. And yes, the COVID thing, it's not new. Yeah, 1918, all that kind of stuff. So addressing all those issues, it's important. So thanks for being here, Moira, and I hope you're enjoying Galway.
This is the third Irish conference I've come to, but the other two were online. So
great. Yeah. We're glad to be back in person. And by the way, we've tried to do this one. I don't know whether previous versions of this one we were in Galway, and we kept on pushing back when we held it in person. So, okay. The next person I have is Jim Carney. How are you, Jim?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, very well.
Yes, I'm Jim Carney. I'm in Galway as well. And I just want to say, Maura, that I have a theater department. I'm at the City University of New York at Lehman College in the Bronx. And an entire new way of writing dance and opera and plays for Zoom and live performance has come out of that. So I'm curious to see what your program is. Anyhow, Jim Carney, assistant professor of journalism and media studies at Lehman College, City University of New York. This is actually my fourth conference for the Common Ground conference. I was at the initial one in Chicago. I think it was back in 15, and I'm actually building this year. I'm building on what I presented last year. I did a panel discussion, and in general, it's how to deal with fake news in training journalists in journalism education. Last year, I brought 4 educators and journalists together to discuss the problem. This year, what I'm doing is it's a paper in progress. More than a paper, actually. I hope it to make a continuing resource on different case studies and resources that are available for teaching journalism to combat fake news. And I have a big, long, formal title, but basically it's how to become a BS detector program for journalists. And I'll be presenting that tomorrow. So I'm in Galway. I'm looking forward to it. And after the conference, I will be visiting my ancestral farm about 45 minutes north of Galway up in Connacht. So it's good to be here.
Great. No, that's wonderful. I'm glad you're able to combine those things. And thank you very much as an in-person person for putting in your digital media. And thank you also to Moira for doing that. That's wonderful, because that gives access to all the other folks.
Right. And I will be updating it because it's a little, I don't like the way it is there now. I want to do some more cleaning up, but I'll get it up there.
No problems. Yeah, right. That's great. Well, that's it's wonderful. And again, look, we can see that we're all anxious about this world of fake news and misinformation. So it's really, really, really important to be addressing it in this moment. So yeah, wonderful and welcome, and hope you enjoy your time in Ireland. The next one I have is Gillian. How are you, Gillian? Maybe Gillian can't hear me. Are you there, Gillian?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my thing went out. I'm Jillian. I'm from Champaign, Illinois. I'm just the support assistant, just recording it today.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Sorry, my audio went out though.
Yeah. So look, I should introduce Gillian and also Kayla, which I haven't done adequately. They're both members of our Common Ground team that keep the show on the road and keep a lot of just keep the. And Gillian, you're relatively new, so I haven't met you in person. I don't think I've met you in person either, Kayla, even though we're in the same town. It's strange. So anyhow, there's a lot of kind of logistics in running these things, and they keep the show on the road, which is great. The next one is Mo Lee. How are you?
Hi. Are you?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go.
Oh, cool. Lovely. Beautiful. So right now I am at the Salt, which is the place where we will meet tomorrow, I believe, at the National University of Ireland for the get together, walk around the city session. So I came here earlier to scout out the place and get a good feel of how does it feel like to be on location.
Great, wonderful. Well, I'm so glad you've joined us in this virtual session. That's very nice to be connecting people. So,
Yes.
And
Yes, I'm going to bring my ongoing research on underground cinema, or you call it independent cinema in China. So there's a theory that is about media law, censorship. Then there's the practice that is about how people actually consume censored films in China. So that is my research. I'm just finished my first year PhD work at Polytechnic University of Valencia in Spain. So I'm based in Spain, and I'm excited to present my work for the first time to a live audience.
Great, wonderful. Well, I'm glad you can be there, and you've got to put a digital version in as well for the other folks. So when
Yes,
you get a chance.
I totally would love to, and I think I was even thinking, because everybody was, I think everybody had some sort of device, and we are media or technology affluent. So maybe what we can do even is during the actual presentation, different presenters can help each other tape it and then just directly live stream or upload it.
Yep.
So that
Right.
we don't have to worry
Actually,
about
or a
filming
recording.
ourselves.
We actually find the live streaming, the recording's the best thing, because then there's something documented.
Yes. We can help
Right.
each other record, perhaps.
Yep.
Like,
Great.
because if
No,
you
do that.
record yourself when you're presenting to a live audience, it's almost like texting on the dinner table. It's kind of weird.
That's nice.
Something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Promise you'll do that.
I think I could probably do that. Yes, with other people as well.
Okay, the next person I have going around the room is Gabriella. Gabriella Martin, how are you?
Hello everyone. Sorry I'm late. I was having some issues with my Wi-Fi. I'm glad to be here, and I'm presenting my work, my paper for my graduation. Actually, I just graduated last year, so I'm still a student, and I'm really happy that's my first conference, and my theme is based on the infotainment. That's an area here in Brazil that we have a lot of content about, but not as much as studies as we should do. Um, and I did a case study of a show that we have here in HBO, that's Greg News, and most focus on the marijuana problem that is still a taboo in society, and how the infotainment can help the society to bring discussions and debates surround these taboo themes.
Okay, great. Again, another really important contemporary issue. So wonderful that you brought that to the conference. So Are you in Galway or you're in Brazil still? Okay, all right then. All right, so and I think the last person I'll go around everybody now is Adam Dean. Hi Adam, how are you?
I'm good. I'm during my office hours, so that's why I keep getting interrupted. So my apologies.
No, it's okay.
But yes, it's good to. I've only been able to catch half of the intros, but it's good to at least be able to be there virtually. I'm in Tennessee, United States.
Great. And are you presenting? I don't know whether Kayla, you might get a link up for him.
Yeah, I put my presentation up yesterday. It's called the Smartphone Mandate, and it is a virtual presentation on how smartphones contain a lot of opt-in agreements and user agreements that are assumed to be agreeable to and used and mandatory in most of our daily lives, even if we don't necessarily agree to the terms.
Right. Yeah, that's a very important issue as well. So no, absolutely. So no. Well, look, thank you very much for being here. And as I say, all these things you're bringing up are in one way or another key themes in this whole communication and media space. So, and that's a wonderful sample you've given us of all those things. So again, I'm going to mention also the journal. So we've that we have the journal, which is now as a matter of fact, Kayla, would you put the link into the journal in the bookstore? So yes, it's a place where this community continues after the conference around peer-reviewed work. So do submit your papers in a formal kind of way for the journal. So if I look here on the journal page and I go to the bookstore, so let me just go to the bookstore now, browse articles. So that's the information about that Kayla's just posted, and I'm pulling up the bookstore now just to see what there is. There's a very nice series of things that have been published there over the year, and a great resource for you folks to use as well in the journal. So everyone has access to all those papers that have been published so far. They're all there, and one of the important things that I implore people to do all the time is not just use them, but to cite them. One of the things in academia, an important form of recognition is that people have cited your work. So do use that as a resource, but again, cite as many of those pieces as you can as well. Now, getting back to this conference, please go to the virtual sessions, even if you've been to them in person, and even if you're in an in-person session, you might go to the virtual page and comment while the person's talking. That way there's a kind of a record, and it also means that people who are not there can feel like they're part of that conversation. So that's a two-way thing. So, and if you have any ideas about how to encourage people to comment more and not just look, I can see in all these links there's been a lot of engagement already, in the sense that people have been there and looked at the media and looked at whatever, but it's the key is to see if you can to contribute to the discussion in each case. So they're the main things. So welcome to the conference. Kayla, anything that I've forgotten that I really need to say?
I think that's everything.
Yeah, great. So look, I hope you have a wonderful time. I wish I was in Galway at the moment. I'm in my office at the University of Illinois at the moment, which is fine. First week of semester, which is fine, I say. I wish I was in Galway. So you folks in Galway, you make sure you enjoy it for the rest of us. And for the folks that are online, make sure you enjoy the online stuff and make sure you make the most of it. So this will be a permanent record which you can always access. We turn the conversations off after a while because they become a bit random. So Kayla, how long do we leave the conversations running for?
I think it's a few days after the end of the conference.
Yeah, a few days after the conference. So, but the material will be there for you to view at any time after that. So, any questions, folks? Okay.
I do have a question, actually.
Oh yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah, so I'm kind of just glancing at the schedule right now, and I noticed that many of the events are on site and in person. Is there going to be a Zoom link or anything, or are they uploaded after?
The things, Kayla, you might be able to answer that better than me. The
yeah.
Plenary sessions are live, are they?
Yes, so plenary sessions, any sessions that say the university and online will be both held in person and streamed on Zoom. They'll also be recorded in case of time zone differences, but the parallel sessions are held in person only. However, we do encourage the in-person presenters to also upload digital media. And so the online participants can also view their presentations.
So we're really sure, we make sure to record everything. So because of the awkward time zone differences for a lot of people, and also we find that people often want to come back to things at their convenience, at their leisure. But having said that, please do attend the synchronous sessions in the time that they're running if you like, because there will be a chat running and there is actually an oral conversation part of those. So yes, so and as Kayla says, the ones that are synchronous will be marked. Okay, any other questions? Okay folks, have a wonderful time wherever you are. Bye folks. See you then. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.